Let's do this. Fist me. Come on. Oh yeah, that's good. No wheel spin. That feels a lot better. Ooh, oh yes. 0 to 100 in seconds. G'day guys, how's it going? Today we're here with the facelifted Kia Sportage Hybrid. You're looking at the latest 2026 version of one of Kia's best-selling models, the Sportage. It's pretty popular here in Australia, but unfortunately prices have gone up. God damn it. And also they've slashed a couple of the variants while adding on a couple of variants as well, including a new all-wheel drive hybrid variant, which we have today. So of course, what I'm gonna be doing is taking you for a full exterior tour of this new facelifted Kia Sportage. We're gonna be going through all of the new tech and features on the interior. Of course, I'm gonna be taking it for a drive, giving it lots of sauce around Saucy Corner, and we're gonna be testing the new 0 to 100 kilometers an hour of this all-wheel drive hybrid system. The results, they may shock you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, while I try not to get blown off the side of this hill from all the wind, let's talk about pricing, because like I said, price has gone up across the range by about $3,000 to $4,000 depending on the model. Now they have gotten rid of the 6-speed manual variant of the base S trim of the Sportage. So now the range starts with the S trim, the automatic, which starts at $37,990, which is $5,000 more than the base 6-speed manual from last year. The 2-litre turbo diesel is still available in Australia, even though they've gotten rid of it for a lot of other markets. And that does start at $43,390 for the base S trim, going all the way up to the top spec GT line for $56,400. Now today we've got the hybrid variant of the Sportage, in fact the top spec hybrid GT line all-wheel drive, which does come in at $60,370. That's right, you haven't misheard me. This Kia Sportage is now more than $60,000 before on-road costs. So what do you get with the new Kia Sportage? Well, let's start with the way it looks up front, because this is probably the biggest change in terms of the appearance. So matching a lot of Kia's new EV models, for example, like the EV3 and EV5, you do get these new daytime running lights, which actually look pretty cool as well. You do get super bright LED headlights, and they are stacked vertically, so you get 4 separate LEDs there, which look pretty cool as well. You do also get this new grille as well, which looks really cool and aggressive with this blacked out design on the GT line. Of course, you get the iconic Kia Tiger nose grille design there, Kia badge blacked out, as well as a revised bumper. You get your radar for your latest highway driving assist, but more on that later, as well as a couple of cameras up the top there. And new for the range are front parking sensors as well, which are good to see. And of course, you do get a front-facing camera there for your 360 camera system. But let's check out the side. Alrighty guys, just trying to shield myself from the wind here. Let's come to the side of the new Sportage now. Of course, you do get these same 18-inch wheels, same size as before, but you do get this cool new diamond cut alloy pattern. Now these wheels are wearing Hankook rubber, decent tire brand from South Korea. Naturally, it is a Korean brand after all. We get our mirror cameras there. These are blacked out mirrors. Of course, you do get keyless entry and go there as standard across the range. You get these nice solid black roof rails here, tinted privacy glass at the rear, and you get this pretty iconic Sportage side profile here with the floating roof design, which I think looks really cool and sleek. But let's check out the rear. Alrighty, coming to the rear now, and you can see we do get these LED tail lights. They haven't changed a whole lot about the design of the rear, which in my opinion is a bit of a miss, because it was starting to look a little bit aged even 1 year ago, at least in my opinion. You do get the blacked out Kia logo there. Of course, your HEV badge, because this is a hybrid after all. Your Kia Sportage badge, also blacked out. Of course, you do get your reversing camera here. And let's see what this thing can fit inside of itself. Ooh. Does come with a powered tailgate as always. So inside the boot, as you can see, you do get an enormous amount of space, 586 litres with the second row up. Of course, you can fold the second row down, and that'll expand space up to 1,872 litres. Now, you do also get a little bit of underfloor storage, actually quite a bit of underfloor storage. And in there is a CST Space Saver spare wheel, which is good to see. You get your Harman Kardon subwoofer back there, as well as a 12-volt socket, so nothing revolutionary in the boot, still really practical. Let's have a look at what they've done on the interior. Alrighty guys, coming to the interior now of the facelifted Kia Sportage. Now, they've actually made a couple of changes that I'm really happy about. The first of which is they've gotten rid of this high gloss area in the center console. So on the GT line, they've replaced it with this kind of wood grainy material there. I'm not sure if that's real wood, but it feels pretty nice. And on the lower specs, you now get a more matte finish, which is really good. It means they've listened to feedback. You don't want glossy black plastic in the center console, guys. It just gets dirty. It looks terrible after a week of driving the car. It looks really bad. Another nice change is you do now get this kind of cool squircly steering wheel. It's very in vogue at the moment. We're seeing a lot of Chinese electric car manufacturers doing it. You do now get Kia's latest steering wheel design, which is this kind of two-spoke design here. Looks super cool. You do have your controls for the adaptive cruise control or highway driving assist on the left. You can also scroll through a number of menus on the driver digital instrument cluster, which actually looks a lot more modern and nicer than before. I'm also finding it more legible even in bright daylight, which is really good. Still not overloading amounts of information available, but enough to get you through. You have your media controls on the right, and the buttons are well laid out and very easy to use. Your drive mode selector button is on the steering wheel now, so you can select between 3 different modes: Eco, Sport, or My Drive, which you can set up however you like. And you do get a couple of plastic paddle shifters there, which is no big deal. New for the GT line spec, at least for this facelift, is the heads-up display, which is actually super bright, super color accurate, and it's handy to have as well. Coming to the infotainment system, this is a really good story. So you get Kia's latest version of their CCNC, or Connected Car Navigation Cockpit. So yeah, it is super responsive, super crisp. You do now get wireless Apple CarPlay, which is awesome. You used to only get it on the base S trim, but now, as you should, you do get it across the range. You get another digital screen below that, which is for both your climate controls as well as your touch media controls. Now, it might take some getting used to if you've never used this before, but now that I've been in the Sportage a number of times, as well as other Kia products, it is super intuitive to use. And to be honest, most of the time I just keep it on climate controls anyway, because that's what I'm using most of the time. In terms of the rest of the interior layout, it is pretty much the exact same as before. I can't really spot any changes. You do still get your Qi wireless charger here, which can also be hidden away with this nice soft closing wooden area there. If we open it up, you can see we do get a USB-C port and another USB-C port. In fact, this shifter, it's the same shift-by-wire system that we got before, but I actually like how the reverse, neutral, and drive lights have been kind of integrated into the wood grain there. It's nice attention to detail, looks really premium as well. You also get all of your extra climate controls laid out here, like your heated steering wheel, which is good to see now, and this top spec also gets heated and ventilated seats up front. Unfortunately, nothing in the back, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I love this downward arrow design here on the backrest. They are electrically adjusting with memory in the front, and I also really have found the lumbar support to be particularly nice on these seats. It just kind of bolsters quite well, and even though we can't adjust the height of the lumbar support, I still find I can get into a really good seating position. Not to mention, the seats feel super nice and soft and comfy, and in fact, all of the leather surfaces on this interior are artificial leather. What about the rest of the surfaces? Well, you get this wood grain continuing along here. You also get some leatherette material along the top of the dash, and it is scratchy in a few places, but some soft touch materials. Good to see the soft touch continues along here, and if you feel here, it's nice leathery material. So no complaints up front about material choices. In terms of practicality and ergonomics, it's still a fantastic story. I love the design of these hideaway cup holders, which you can fold away, and then you press 2 buttons. They flick out at the speed of light, which is cool to see. You get a pretty massive glove box there, which is awesome. I do like this soft center armrest here, which you can open up. You get a decent amount of storage space, as well as a 12-volt socky wocky. You do get decent sized door bins, only enough for one big bottle or so. And I'm a big fan of the Harman Kardon sound system. It sounds super good. The bass is awesome from the subwoofer. And I also love the massive panoramic sunroof, although I do wish it opened slightly further than it does. I feel like they've kind of artificially restrained it a bit, but yeah, awesome to have a massive glass roof that extends all the way to the rear. But let's check out the back seats. Coming to the back seats, ooh, nice thunk of the Sportage now. And one of the things I love and always have loved about the Sportage is just how much legroom and toe room you get. It really feels nice and airy, nice and spacious back here. That is unfortunately not the case with headroom though, because I, at a pretty measly 5'9", am basically within an inch of the ceiling, which is not great if you do have taller occupants that will sit in the rear. There is a remedy for that though, and I will show you that in a minute. As far as amenities go back here, it's not an incredible story, I will say. You do get a couple of USB-C ports, which are good to see on the front seats there. You do also get a couple of air vents and a small storage area down there. You also get a couple of hooks back here, as well as map pockets and some small door bins, but that's kind of it. There's not really much else, apart from if I fold this down, I do get a nice soft center armrest with a couple of cup holders. But yeah, no heated seats back here, no cooled seats. It's pretty basic for a $60,000 SUV, especially given what we're seeing come out of China now with EVs as well in this price bracket. I will say though, the seating position here is super comfortable. My legs are really well supported. These seats feel nice and bolstered as well. I love this pattern here. Feel nice and soft. Now, talking about my remedy for tall people sitting in the back, if I pull this lever here, oh, And of course, if I am 6'3", now there is room for my head to extend towards the boot. There you go, Jacob's remedies for tallness that I'll never need to use. But you know, one thing I will need to use is our CarSauce Buy service. That's right, guys, we've already helped thousands of you guys purchase your next vehicle through CarSauce Buy. You don't have to go through the stress and burden of having to go to dealerships and haggle on your own behalf, because we'll do it for you. And the best part is it's completely free for you. That's because we charge the dealers a fixed fee and they go in their hardest to fight each other to get you the best price on your next car. Of course, it's obligation free, so if you are in the market for a new car, make sure you go to CarSauce Buy, and we've helped over 1,000 of you guys purchase your next car through CarSauce Buy and save heaps of money in the process. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you head to CarSauce Buy. It's bloody time to launch this thing. Alrighty guys, now time to launch the all-new, or the updated, Kia Sportage. Now last time we launched this in a comparison against the RAV4, we did get 8.55 seconds, but that was both front-wheel drive and it was slightly wet. So let's see what we get in this all-wheel drive version. I'm gonna switch it to sport mode quickly. We're gonna brake boost launch it. Even though it's a hybrid, it does nothing. Let's do this, fist me. Come on. Oh yeah, that's good. No wheel spin. That feels a lot better. Oh, yes. That is pretty much what I expected. So we are about a second better. 0 to 100 in 7.54 seconds. That's pretty good. Let's drive this thing normally. Alrighty, guys. So we're driving the facelifted Kia Sportage, the 2026 Kia Sportage. God, I feel like I've reviewed this car a few times at this point. So the last time we reviewed this car, one of our main critiques was that it didn't come with all-wheel drive, whereas competitors such as the Toyota RAV4 did. So now I'm glad to say that this thing does come with all-wheel drive options. So first I'm gonna switch it into sport mode, give it some sauce around these corners, and then we'll talk about some of the powertrain options. Oh yeah, this thing's got a bit of pep in its step. Yeah, signature Kia Sportage handling characteristics. Kind of like halfway between a boat and a house. Honestly, it's not that bad. I'm kind of exaggerating. All right, let's talk about the powertrain options. So all of the 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol powertrains now come with the option of all-wheel drive. And that even extends to this GT line hybrid. So this new top of the range GT line hybrid all-wheel drive does come with the same 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine, which does make 132 kilowatts of power, 267 Newton meters of torque. Now that is paired to a hybrid electric motor, which produces 48 kilowatt of power, 264 Newton meters of torque for a combined output of 173 kilowatt, 367 Newton meters. So it's definitely got quite a decent amount of torque, not quite as much as that 2 litre turbo diesel engine, which does come with over 400 Newton meters of torque. However, this thing is definitely a lot faster than that car. Now, Kia have decided to axe the 6-speed manual, keeping only the 6-speed automatic for their 2 litre petrol variants. However, the 1.6 litre turbo petrol variants now come with an 8-speed torque converter transmission, the same one that comes in that 2 litre diesel, and it is such a better transmission. This thing already felt really smooth and responsive to drive, but now it feels just that much better. In sport mode, it does like to hold the gears quite high. So how does this thing handle? Well, I actually don't mind this new squirkly steering wheel. Feels pretty good in the hands, and I mean, this thing handles pretty well. I find the steering to be quite natural feeling. It is a little bit heavier in this mode, but what better way to test out the handling and cornering than saucy bloody corner? We're already here. Geez, I was gunning it. All right, guys, we're gonna launch it from a standstill. Fist me. Let's do this. Oh, hybrid, no engine. Decent. Oh, bit of wheel spin there. I wasn't expecting that in the all-wheel drive. Let's attack this first corner. See how we go. Last time we used to understeer quite a bit. This time, way better with that all-wheel drive system. No understeer at all. Let's see if we can get a bit of rotation around this one. Oh yeah, it just powers out so much better. So yeah, this thing handles a lot better around corners and doesn't struggle for grip quite as much. So apart from the powertrains, what else have they changed? Well, you now do get a newer version of adaptive cruise control across the range. Ooh, as I dodge this branch on the road. If I switch it on here, you'll see it's actually capable of holding the lane really well by itself. And I have to say, it never works here, guys. So it does use the inbuilt navigation system for the adaptive cruise control, and it just allows for a much better lane keeping and semi-autonomous driving experience. Now, you still get all of the same safety features across the range, but they have been obviously expanded out on the lower ends of the range, which is definitely good to see given how the price has increased a little bit. And if I just switch back to eco mode for a second, my mode and eco mode, in terms of the comfort and handling, this is still pretty much unchanged from the pre-facelift. So to me, it feels pretty much identical to the old Kia Sportage, which is definitely a really good thing because that thing was already super comfortable and really low levels of noise and vibration in the cabin. So I'm glad to say that they have maintained that. So yeah, really nothing to complain about there at all. So how has fuel economy been in the Kia Sportage Hybrid? Well, if you look at the digital instrument cluster now, you will see 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers, which is about what we got last time. However, that includes me driving like an absolute nuff for the last 20 kilometers or so. So if I go to since refueling, you'll see we are at 6.1. However, the lifetime of the vehicle, we are seeing below 6 liters per 100 kilometers. And I will say on the freeway earlier, I was seeing closer to 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is really, really good. Not quite as frugal as the RAV4 or some of the other hybrid options out there, but still pretty damn good. So do I think the new facelifted Kia Sportage is worth the extra money? And is it worth it to go for the all-wheel drive specs that now come on the 1.6 litre turbo petrol? I'll have to get into my final thoughts to answer that. Alrighty guys, final thoughts now on the facelifted Sportage. Do I think it's worth the price increase over last year's model? Well, to be honest, they haven't really changed a whole lot on the interior. Yes, you do get the newest version of the highway driving assist, which is a nice feature to have. And you do now get the larger screens on the lower trims with Kia's latest version of CCNC, or Connected Car Navigation Console, whatever it's called. And while I don't mind some of the exterior design changes like the new daytime running lights, for example, given the fact that this new top spec GT line all-wheel drive variant comes in at over $60,000 before on-road costs. Keep in mind, for a Sportage, guys, have Kia lost their mind with the new pricing of this thing? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you guys want the best price on any new car, you don't want to bother haggling at the dealerships, make sure you go to CarSauce Buy and join our many thousands of happy customers who all used our CarSauce Buy service and saved themselves thousands of dollars on their new car purchase. All right, guys, ciao for now.